Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to create a card. We're using a brand new collection over at the Spellbinders shop. This is a collection from Hurley, and it is called Metamorphosis. And I think this floral is so pretty. It's a die set, very easy to layer together. And it comes with a couple leaves and a stem, and then there is a new sentiment die. I love the font of these. They're all lowercase scripty letters, and I like that you can mix and match them, and we're going to be using the hello in our card today. So we're going to start by doing a little bit of die cutting. My kind of the color palette that I'm going to be using today is a teal with a couple of pinks for the flowers, and some green. I have Waterfall, Dahlia, Rainforest, and Pink Sand. All of these are Color Essential cardstock. I am bringing in some Spellbinders VELLUM, along with, I wanted a little sparkle, and I have a whole pack of these. And I'm going to use this. This is the pop-up die cutting glitter foam sheets, and this set is called Painted Glitter. And I love this because it has two different shades of pink in here. Well, I would say maybe even three. There's like a light pink, a darker pink, and then there is a gold, which is really pretty. I thought we'd use this for the center of our cards. I have all of my cardstock here, and we're going to die cut all at once. I have my pink sand. And I thought we'd create some soft, even though these can create beautiful bold flowers, I thought we would soften them by using vellum. So using the largest floral, there's two florals in here. Using the largest floral, and then also the front and the back of the smaller flower. I'll die cut these out with vellum. I want two smaller flowers, so I'll actually die cut out these sets twice. And then with the pink sand, I'll die cut out two of these flowers. And then, actually I want to take this one too. This is the flower center. I'm going to die cut that out with my vellum. With this flower center, we're going to die cut this out with pink sand. And then we have our leaves. I'm going to die cut out our leaves, quite a few, with our Rainforest. I'm going to do the stem 3 times also. And these are the flower centers that are left. And I mentioned that painted desert glitter foam. I'm going to die cut out 2 of these. These are the flower centers for the smaller one. And then this is the larger flower center. I'll die cut this out. And I do want to add in a little bit of color. So I have the Dahlia, and I want to die cut out some flower centers with the Dahlia also. Now, while we're die cutting, I have 2 pieces of white cardstock. And since this is a set from Hurley, I thought we would bring in his candy stripes die. I've used this before, and I love that you can crisscross it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create like a lattice background, and I'm going to die cut out 2 of these on an A2 panel. For my sentiment, I'm going to use the hello from the Everyday Sentiments, and I don't think I even mentioned the name of this. This is called In Bloom. This is the In Bloom die set, and then this is called the Everyday Sentiments. And I want to keep it simple and make a just because card, so I'm going to die cut out the hello with that painted desert fun foam, and then I'll die cut out a background with white cardstock with a shadow. Now we have one more thing to die cut. And I have a panel of our Waterfall cardstock. I want a home. I have a background. I have the focal point. Now I need a home to set my flowers on. So I'm using Waterfall cardstock, and I'm bringing in the Spellbinders Elegant Twist Rectangles. And I'm going to create a panel with this beautiful twist on it. I will die cut this out. So I have a little bit of die cutting to do. I'm going to run everything through my die cut machine, and when I'm done, we're going to do a little bit of ink blending. I have everything all die cut, and I didn't mention it, but I did create a white panel using the outline die from our Elegant Twist rectangles. This way I can layer it together, and when I pop it up, you can see the white behind here. Let's actually do that right now. I'm going to flip this panel around, and I'm going to use glue today. I'm just going to add some glue, and we will tack this down. Before we create our flowers, I wanted to share with you the candy striped panels. I found that thinner cardstock works better with this die, but all you do is take one, flip it around, and then put your right side up piece on top, and then you can layer them together like this to create a real pretty border. That's what we're going to do. I'm not going to do it right now, but we're going to create some flowers. So I have everything die cut, and I know if you were to use regular colored cardstock with the layers, I think it'd look fantastic. But again, I'm going for kind of a soft look, and so that's where the vellum is coming in. So I'm going to use my glue, add a little bit behind my largest flower. I'm going to layer this on my vellum. After we have this done, we're going to take our third layer, and this actually has debossed detail on here, and it will basically tell you where to put this piece. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little glue, and I'm putting it at the top where I would put this piece, that way you can't see the glue behind it. And I'll place this down, and I cut out two, one with the glitter foam, and then one with the Dahlia cardstock. I'm going to layer the foam on top of the Dahlia, the darker pink, this way, and then offset it. I just want a little bit of that pink peeking out. And you know what? I'm going to separate these real fast. Now, I made a mistake and I separated what I had just glued because I wanted to do a little bit of ink blending. I have 3 different shades of oxide inks. I have Chipped Sapphire, Worn Lipstick, and Rustic Wilderness. I'm going to take my Worn Lipstick and just using my blending brush, I'm going to add a little bit of shading to the edges of my flower. I love doing this to die cuts. I just think it's so pretty. And it just makes it stand out a little bit more. And I'm going to do the same thing to this flower. Okay, and if you wanted to use a blending brush, you could probably get a smoother blend, but for the most part, it's probably going to be covered. And boy, the sun's coming in and out. It's a beautiful day. Now, I'm going to replace what I had undid. Flip it around here. And then add, again, a little bit of glue on that area where I'm going to put the flower center. And then, since I layered these two together already, I'm going to flip it around, add some glue. And I'm going to place this over my vellum. And then you have that little dotted flower center. I'm going to add some glue inside that foam. And I think just how you see how the vellum just makes it soft and flowy. I love the way that looks. Okay, I'm now to do our next flower. It's very easy. I'm going to add a little glue behind the top here. And then I'm going to take this piece here and layer this on the back side. And then with this piece, I'm going to add a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to add it to the center because I don't want you to be able to see the glue. And when I add this to the center, this is where the stem will come in. I'm going to add a little glue behind one of my stems at the very top, and then we can tack this down here. You can put it in front or behind. I don't think there's any right. Let's see which way this one shows. This shows maybe tucked in between the layers or behind, but I'm putting it on the top. Since we have that vellum, I think it's going to work out great. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the Dahlia and the glitter cardstock. I'm going to offset them both just so that pink is peeking out. I'm going to flip it around and add some glue. And then this is going to go right here on the flower. And there is a little cut line to where if you wanted to tuck that in, you could. But since I have the foam, I'm not going to worry about it being tucked in. So we have our flower, our larger flower and our smaller flower done. We have a whole bunch of leaves left over. I did die cut out one more stem because I do want to add a stem to my larger flower. Like so. Okay, and then I like to add my leaves after we arrange, but I am going to add my hello to my shadow. So pretty, and that is good. Now I do have my Rustic Wilderness for my leaves. I'm going to use my blending tool and just add a little bit of shading to the all of my leaves. Okay, so I have all my inks with a little bit of that Rustic Wilderness on them. Then I have the chip Sapphire. I have this out because I want to add a little bit of shading from the bottom and kind of fade up with the chip Sapphire. I'm going to bring in my blending mat here. And I'm going to add a little bit of color, fading up. After we have this done, I have a piece of pop-up foam. This is a very inexpensive pack of foam. You get 10 sheets, 7 white, 3 black, and it really does last a long time. So since I have my glue out, I'm going to go ahead and add a piece of foam behind here. And I'm going to bring in my card base, and we're going to layer our background. And then I'll place this. We're going to leave it white, so we're just going to cover the front of our card base. Once we have our first layer done, I'm going to flip over my second layer, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to add some glue behind here, and then we can crisscross it right on top. And I'm leaving it white, just keeping it tone on tone. And there is our background. We have texture and we have dimension. Now we're going to take our panel. I'm going to add a little bit of glue behind here. And then with the darker side up towards the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this right in the middle. Wonderful. And then now is the fun part. We get to place our flowers. And I'm going to use some foam behind here. And then using some small foam squares, we're going to add our larger leaves. Okay, I think that is a perfect, we had the perfect amount. And that will finish my card today. No sparkle, no bells or whistles. I think that, what's it called? Painted Desert glitter foam does that for me. But I thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Everything that I used today will be listed down below in the description area. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.